So if this is on and this is off, just wait just a little while to see if it comes back. And by a little while, I just mean 1 or 2 periods. Okay, so let's do that. How do you do that now? We're doing our analysis here in the update call. And I think I will need some coffee. Okay. So we have here basic analysis going on, where we keep track of the state. And once we go to the off state here, okay, so this is what we can do. We can have a counter, and this will need to be in the input manager. Wasn't it called audio? Yeah. Alright, so input manager.h. It has right now one state tracking variable. You know what we can do? Yeah. Instead of changing it to 1, what we can do is change it to something much greater than 1. And this will represent the number of periods that we are tracking. And we'll have to comment that well. So we're allowing it to dip below the offset curve, offset threshold, while being the same sound. And this will illuminate a lot. I noticed sometimes there would be like 3 blocks, 3 onsets at once, 3 blocks that would come out of the shooter at once. So I think this will deal with that. And all we have to do is, instead of checking for 1, we just do greater than or equal to 1 or greater than 0. Or how about just m onset state? Right? Keep it simple. We don't have to worry about the negative case. It's not getting there. This is the only place where onset state gets decremented. Yeah. Alright. So it might be as simple as that. I mean, this is kind of a hard hack. We're setting the number of periods here. Because this is really ad hoc, I just said 3 periods without any real testing. I know that means probably 2/40ths of a second, so about cough time, about 0.05 seconds, which is 50 milliseconds. Pretty quick. I think that's reasonable, but let's try it out. So I'm building here, and the build has succeeded. And I will note that the build has succeeded and it says running, but nothing's okay. It just started. And I said something. so I kind of have to get further away. I'm gonna restart it. It's hard to. I mean, this threshold is actually pretty good. Even if I'm far away from the mic, it still can tell when I'm speaking and when there's just nothing going on. So I think I'll have to just whisper into the mic like this. Okay. And test. Wah wah. Yeah. Seems to be working. So now it captures whole sentences, and I can keep talking and it'll generally keep being one word unless I make a long pause. And now this feels about the granularity that I want. If that's not the right word, you'll have to forgive me, but what I mean is the spacing between events. Okay, so it looks like things are working, and now we're freeing up the buffer. So I bet I can really add a lot of stuff. And note that I can still have this spitting out things in rapid succession, and I can also activate the mic by just tapping here, right? Because this makes a loud sound to the mic. You know what that sounds like if I tap the mic. It's like my favorite thing to do. So I'm going to try and crash the program now. I say if we get around... okay, it still crashes. Well, that's good to know. I don't want to debug that yet, because it doesn't seem like a lot of fun. But, we'll have to note that we still have to look into this. Okay. So, next thing we have to do is, item 2 is make the size of the note onset. And I mean this thing right here. Make the size of the note onset proportional to the length of the sound that triggered it. Okay, that's kind of a tricky one now that I think about it. So, now's a good time. This is starting to get a little visual, so why don't we draw some things? Going back to the painting app, I think the interface I'm going to have is something like, it'll be a portrait, no, a landscape view, and I'll have things here. One will be, this is not a mic. How do you draw a mic? More something like this. Now this is a mic. And I'll have it spit out a line or something. Yeah, some funny looking squiggle that represents the audio thing into some filter that changes it. And this will be something, maybe a circle with like I don't know. So it'll go into this guy. Maybe his ear here. And so right now we have a shooter, right, that looks like this, and it spits out these blocks. This microphone out is going to replace that. and it's going to spit out these long shooty waves. And what's going to be different is that I'm going to, instead of having the constant size, the length is going to be determined by the length of the sound. And maybe this waviness as well. We'll see how tricky that will be later. We could just use something like RMS, and that might be totally fine. So you'll say something, it'll go into this guy, and eventually it'll be re-output in a processed form here. And that's going to be a pretty basic part of the app. And maybe the processing happens after, only after receiving this. So this is step 1, this is step 2, and eventually maybe there will be some output sequence like to file, like that, and another option might be speaker output. That'll probably be the default option, right? Speaker output. Speaker. And some other options. And as well here, maybe there will be, so this will be a conveyor belt or something. There'll be happy face guy, there will be cat voice. Or square animal voice. Robot. No, this looks more like that thing from Star Wars. It doesn't speak, but anyway, you can send it to that or that. You can select the voice basically. So this is a voice effect, and it'll just be a filter we'll implement. But this starts to show us what kind of output, visual output we're going to need. So let's get to that length thingamabob. And how can we do that? Well, this is an analysis related issue, so we're not going to have to go very far. We can stay in the input manager update call for the most part. I do want to check that my YouTube upload is working, so if you can bear with me for a second. I can go over to the script too, because I think that might be, some people might be interested to see that, if anybody is watching this. So it doesn't look like my upload, maybe it's not working, or maybe I'm still in the first video. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still in the first video. Okay. But the first video will end in about 1 minute. So I can go over the script and it should pop up while I'm going over it. Okay. So here you see, this is all the script is. Well, right now I'm just arbitrarily limiting myself to 10 sessions. And for each session, we do a FFmpeg grab that looks like this. There's a page on my website that goes over this at michaelshinen.com. If you want to know how to capture your screen and stuff in Linux. And then there's this nice, you have to install the Google CL application or libraries. And then you can call, there's a Google command that you can post to YouTube with. And it's as simple as this. You just provide all this stuff and the file name, and I just cache the file name in a variable here. And my files have some date timestamp, so I won't overwrite any files. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So let me see how the script's doing.